All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone, and aloha kakahiaka, which is good morning in Hawaiian. I'm Peter K, and you're with us today on the September 26th on the Aloha Friday Hawaii Real Estate Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. E komo mai as another Hawaiian word, which means welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got a great show for you today. We got some market updates. We got your questions. I got some really cool news. I got some stories that you're just not going to want to miss. And then we're going to close with some diamonds and deals with our friends and some motivational thoughts. So we have a really good show. We got some great questions as well to discuss all kinds of fun stuff. But before we do that, we are going to do a warm up. We need to warm up the internets. And so I have my friends with me today. We've got Dylan Nonaka, who is with us from the Big Island. We have Ashley Wasan, who's from Oahu. We have Heidi Dellinger, who is hailing from Maui. Good to see you guys again. It's been a while since the whole clan has been together. Great to see you guys. Why don't we do counterclockwise? Heidi, how are you doing? What's the coffee today, and how's Maui doing? Or I should say, how awesome is Maui doing today? Thank you, Heidi. Sorry.
I mean, Maui's doing great. It's a gorgeous sunny day. Got to go on my walk this morning and of course get my Maui coffee, which is a great way to start the day. And also it's made even better if you're able to look at the ocean while you're drinking it. So highly recommend. Just happy to be here and grateful to be here and good to see all of you.
Yeah, a great cup. Nothing quite equals a great cup of coffee while you're by the ocean, man. On a a beautiful morning, a beautiful sunrise, man. That is the best. Thank you for bringing that memory back, Heidi, or that image back into my
I
brain.
was not up for sunrise, but I was outside at around 7:30 or 8.
My wife and I do the sunrise walks, and it's just been, you're so fortunate sometimes because not every sunrise, but some sunrises are just really amazing with the way the cloud and the way the sun and all the colors and everything like that. Sometimes you just get really, really lucky, and it is a glorious thing to behold. So thank you, Heidi, for sharing that. Ashley, how is the windward side? How's Oahu? How are you doing? What's happening, girl?
Oahu is beautiful. It's sunny. We got some good rain. It's been very dry. My water bill can to attest to that because we're in our gardening era. So it's been really nice to get some free water back. And it's just enough where we still have like this beautiful sunny day, like a couple hours later. You can still hike on one side of the island and get rain on the other. And I'm looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be a really nice weekend. They're doing the canoe races from Molokai to Oahu. So we have family that's racing in that, and the 65 plus. So we're going to go and celebrate their arrival this Sunday.
So hold on a second. You have some family and friends that are over 65 and coming from Molokai on a canoe. Wow.
Yeah, my partner's mom, she's actually in the 70s crew, and she still paddles from Molokai. She does distance racing, so I am inspired by her. She's so incredible.
Damn, that is inspiring. Now, are those canoes? Are they going to land in Waikiki, or are they going to land maybe near your guys' side, or Manalua Bay? Where are they going to be landing?
Waikiki. Yeah, we're going to go to the harbor. Yeah, we're going to go over by we have a boat over there. So we're going to go by the Hilton and maybe make a beach day, surf at bowls, bring the tents and kind of hang out, maybe on the boat, the beach, surf a little bit and wait for them to come. They should be arriving around 1 or 2 o'clock, depending on how fast they are. So I hope to just be able to give her some, I don't know, good food when she arrives. I don't know what I would want after that. I'd probably just want to lay down and breathe.
Man, how cool is that? How totally cool is that? Good for you. Good for you. Congratulations. That's gonna be a lot of. That sounds like a great day. Got on the boat, surf, Waikiki. Man, we're so lucky in Hawaii. So
I should be sitting open houses, but the Sundays have passed.
Yeah. Well, this is a special one. This is a special one. This is a special one. Dylan, what's happening, buddy? How's the big on and how's the shirt? Dylan's always got like the shirt of that he wears on the show. Fill us in, Dylan.
Well, this is a Mana Ola, and it's like a golf shirt material. And I had to wear this morning because my wife is on Kauai for a hula competition, and she took the steamer with her, and I wasn't gonna break out the ironing board and the iron to iron a shirt so I needed something that I could just like throw on that was in the closet. So that was the determination, the deep thought process of picking a shirt this morning. But yeah, stoked to be back. I miss you guys. It's been a while. I was traveling. I had Army Reserve duty. I had all kinds of stuff going on, and so I just wasn't able to make the last couple of shows. But good to be back in town for a few weeks, and then Ashley and I have our company conference in Miami in a couple of weeks, and so we might actually miss that show. I'm not sure what the timeline looks like, but we'll see. But yeah, good to be back. It's been beautiful over here, and no complaints. Living the dream.
Is the volcano going off right now?
It's so random. Like sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But my mom and stepdad are the resident experts. They live right across the street from the park, and their recommendation is that if you don't get there like within 2 hours, it usually stops. So it's like you kind of got to be on standby. And so if it starts going, you're like, oh, I'll plan to go see it tomorrow. Most likely you're not going to see it. So you really have to think of be ready to go immediately when it does happen. So
can you ask them to just kind of talk to Pele real quick, because I want to go over Sunday night.
You want to schedule a showing?
Yeah, I would like an eruption Sunday evening if they can. Not really.
We'll put that request in.
Yes. I think Pele has a Google form online somewhere where you can make a make a reservation in advance and ask to ask to show up. I think there's like a Venmo account. There's a Venmo account attached to it. You have to sacrifice a few dollars at the altar.
As long as it's a few dollars.
Yeah.
Not like a lamb or something.
No lambs. He's not that would be a Greek. If it was a Greek goddess,
right,
you'd have to sacrifice a lamb.
Sure.
But it's a different story with Pele. All right, cool. Hey, great. Good. Thanks you guys for helping us warm up. I got some news I want to go over and some stuff that might be relevant to you guys. So we'll jump into that and we'll go from there. All right. So we got some fun news for you guys. So the interestingly enough, that Hawaii high school sports now, it's really coming on board. It's kind of folks on the mainland, think of it this way. Hawaii's high schools have surfing as a sport. Like there's basketball, basketball and softball, etc. We have surfing, and some state championships are coming. Finally, they've organized it. It really has been it's been around here since 2004, but they really have never had all the schools doing it. Now they finally are doing it. Surf championships are coming. Statewide surf championships. That's kind of an exciting thing, and one of those sort of only in Hawaii things. Maui's hosting their first ever high school championship in May of next year, so it's going to be amazing. All right, so that's kind of fun. And there's now a coral. There is a coral in Hawaii has been officially named Chewbacca. I've got a picture of it. Here's the Chewbacca coral. So you can kind of see the way that looks. It's got I don't know if it looks like Chewbacca, from Star Wars. You could decide that, but I guess it's furry and hairy, kind of the way Chewie is. So we've got a good one here. Is that there was a study published in about the cost of living in Hawaii. So we're gonna do we'll see how this is gonna work out. We're gonna do a little trivia thing over here today. So this is gonna be the question. The question is going to be, they did a report, and the report was, what does it take how much does it cost to live comfortably in Hawaii in 2025, including basic needs, discretionary spending, long-term savings, and taxes. So how much money do you need, a household, do you need for that? So that's going to be, I'm going to pose that as our question. So hold on to that one, everybody. The number I'll give you a hint. The number is pretty staggering. Maui condo bargains. I want to talk to Heidi about this. There was a story that the Maui condo prices went down 35% from the same month last year. Single family homes down a little bit, 3.6% from the same time same month last year. So be curious to see what Heidi thinks about that. And maybe on an Ashley question, or really all of you, Hawaii is near the top in homeowners association fees. So median monthly paid for condo association was $470. That seems really low, but way low. But that is the third highest in the nation. So regardless of what they came up with, I know that the condo fees are really high. So I'd be curious what you guys think about that. And so as we transition over here to everybody else, I'm gonna want to. I did actually make a little slide for this. So this is going to be. So I want you all to think about this. Is the question for the Ohana. By the way, if you join us, make sure you say hello. Give us a shout out from where you're from. Here's the Ohana question. What is that number? What does it take in Hawaii? How much do you need to make for a household in Hawaii to cover basic needs, discretionary spending, long-term savings, and taxes? That is the question. That is the question. But on to more important questions. Let's talk about that. Let's do that market update. I wanted to get, let me make sure I got that right here. Yeah, let's do a market update and kind of give us a picture of kind of what's going on from week to week. Why don't we start dealing with you this time around? Give us the update. What's happening on the Big Island, and what do you see? It's been a while. Give us your thoughts.
It's like it's been pretty flat and not a whole lot to report home about. There's this month so far has been 294 sales month to date. So we got a few days left in the month, so it's gonna crack over 300 sales for the month. But looking back over the last few months, there was 332 in August, there was 346 in July, there was 382 in June. So we're kind of on a downward a downward trajectory in terms of market activity, but it's pretty flat. I mean, on average for the entire year. So nothing too exciting going on. I mean, there's lots of opportunity, like we've been talking about for months and months and months, in terms of if you're a buyer right now, and pretty much in every segment, there's opportunity. There's more inventory on the market. We're seeing lots of negotiations happening, lots more contingent offers, a lot more concessions from sellers, buying down interest rates or helping with closing costs and things like that. So it's definitely a good time to be a buyer right now, and we're kind of starting to see the discussions of interest rates going down. We'll see what happens there, but you definitely want to take advantage of the environment we're in right now. If we look at year to date numbers, and of course the discussion is always about price, right? Like, I mean, the number of sales is an indicator of how much activity is happening, but we're down this year in the condo market 15% in terms of number of sales. We're down 1.8% number of single family homes, and we're down 6% in the number of pieces of land that have sold year to date. But on the price side of it, the condo market's down a little bit, down 6% year over year from a year to date standpoint. But the single family home market's up 3% and the land market's up 6.7%. So prices are pretty stable, and in the single family home and land markets, they're actually up year over year from a year to date standpoint, and we're pretty deep into the year, so it's a pretty good set of data. But yeah, prices are steady, but activity is still slow, and it's looking like 2025 will be a slower overall year for number of sales than 2024, which I didn't think was possible, because 2024 was extremely slow, the slowest we had in like 30 years. Even 2008 was better than 2024. So very slow from a number of sales standpoint, but no crash in prices. Unmute.
Thank you. I muted. I want to give a shout out to Stefan Boye. I hope I got that right, Stefan. Aloha all. I always look forward to the show until my family and I can make the move one day. Put it on the list, Stefan. Give us your guess. What do you think it's going to take? I don't want to scare you, so that's a hint, Stefan. But give us a guess of what do you think it's going to take for a household to comfortably live in Hawaii and set aside money for savings and taxes and all that kind of stuff. But thanks for giving the shout out. And if you've joined us, give us a shout out. We'd like to know where you're from, and welcome you to the family, to the Ohana. All right. Let's see. Next up, Maui. Heidi, give us the Maui market update. What's happening on Maui, Heidi?
So on Maui, similar to the Big Island, I mean, lower number of overall sales. August was a slower month. And I looked at the number of sales closing so far in September. We're at September 26th. It looks like September is going to be even lower number of sales than we just had in August. The big headline that a lot of people heard about Maui market was the median sales price for condominiums on Maui in August 2025 was $650,000. compared to what it was in 2024, which was 1 million. So that's down 35%. If you look at the year-to-date numbers, it's more like year-to-date this year down about 22% overall compared to year-to-date last year. The reason we're seeing such a softening in the condo market is, driven by a number of factors, including the overall market cycles, but locally on Maui, the uncertainty persists as far as what's going to happen with Bill 9, which is a potential future phase out of vacation rentals in apartment zone areas. So what's interesting is this legislation that will perhaps impact a group of properties seems to be dragging down the market in every segment of the condo market. So even properties that would never be affected by this bill or were never vacation rentals in the first place, their prices are softening as well. For a buyer, this could be a really good time to come in. It's a buyer's market on Maui right now for both condominiums and single family. Probably the most opportunity in the condo market. Single family home sales prices are pretty flat, pretty stable. But inventory is increasing in the single family home market too, which is good for buyers because they have a few more choices and more leverage than in past years. That's basically where we are.
Heidi, what just occurred to me is I understand it makes complete sense. What the market does not like is uncertainty, and right now there's a lot of uncertainty going on with the Maui market with this legislation that may make a lot of condos that today are available as short-term vacation rentals that may take them off the market, but yet that's affecting all of the units, whether or not they're legit, short-term vacation rentals, which is interesting. My question for you is, what I'm interested about is you've got all these people, tens of thousands that were dislocated because of the Lahaina fires. Those homes have not been built yet. So I would think that there's a huge demand for homes on Maui, and especially even those condos from locals, from people that are residents. They don't care about the short-term vacation rental uncertainty. And I'm just curious, are those folks buying homes? And if they did, it would seem that the price drop and the sales drop doesn't seem to indicate that there's a sort of a pent-up demand, which I would think there would be because of the Lahaina fires. Do you have any sense of that? Any comment about that, Heidi? Oh, before we do, really quick, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Michael Lotta, who just joined in. Michael, welcome back, baby. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you again. And Stefan put in his guess. Okay, that's a good guess, Stefan. 250 income is required. Could be low, could be good, but that's a good guess, Stefan. Anyone else? So the Ohana question is, what does it take, Michael? I'd be curious about your take on this. What does it cost? What does it take for a household in Hawaii to live and to set aside money for savings and discretionary spending and pay taxes? What is that number for the household? Sorry, Heidi. What do you have an explanation for this? Is there a pent-up demand? Has it not shown itself? Why aren't the people that no longer have a home in Lahaina, why aren't they the ones who are buying to bring the prices up? What's happening with that? Is your best guess?
We're not seeing a lot of local buyers jumping into the market right now. I am working with some local buyers. After the Lahaina fire, a lot of Lahaina residents' income was severely impacted. So it takes a couple years of tax returns to kind of build that up again. Many people who were displaced by the Lahaina fire are now already, they're either in FEMA housing or there's some temporary housing developments. Most people are placed in some kind of housing right now. But also keep in mind, 80% of the people that were displaced from the Lahaina fire were renters. Some of these people potentially could become home buyers. Some of these are people that are probably going to continue looking for rentals in the future. I mean, we've also had a lot of people leave Maui because of all this that is happening. But I think, you know, the local buyers, just like the off-island buyers, are just feeling this uncertainty and just waiting around. So I guess real estate's a herd mentality. Eventually the herd will charge ahead, and then everybody's gonna, you know, want to come in and buy when it seems like everybody else is buying. And I mean, ironically, you know, if that happens, you know, that would potentially be a worse time, because then you're going to see prices going up again and more competition. So it's interesting. But I mean, like I always say, I think my recommendation for people, you know, when the time to buy is buy when it's right for them, when they have their finances in order, you know, when they know where they want to be. That's the time to buy, and, you know, don't pay too much attention to, you know, what everybody else is doing, because it's not always relevant to your own personal goals.
Great point and great explanation, Heidi. I appreciate that. It's like a large part of the people that were displaced were renters, and they got their incomes hit. They're not easy. They can't be easy buyers or qualify. And a lot of people have left, so it's not quite like that. So it's a very good point. Thanks, Heidi. That's
And I
excellent.
mean, people are also rebuilding. I mean, a lot of people that lost their home, they're in the process of rebuilding. Some people have moved into their houses. Some people are still a year out or maybe 2 years out for rebuilding. So they're maybe staying in a temporary place, but, you know, with the intention to move back to a home. So, I mean,
Sure.
everybody's in such a different situation. But I mean, also with this concern about Bill 9 and the vacation rentals, that's not just going to affect housing, it's also going to affect the local economy. Because if the county does phase out 7,000 vacation rentals, well, that impacts all local businesses. It impacts people's income that live here. So I think that's also why some local buyers are just waiting around to see what happens. Because if they're working at a restaurant or have a small business or even have a tour company, or, you know, I mean, that's going to affect their income as well. So
Sure. Huge.
that adds to the uncertainty.
Lot of uncertainty happening. A lot of uncertainty. Yeah, Mel, makes total sense. Makes total sense. Actually, before we move on to you, one to kind of we're getting a little bit of feedback over here. So Michael says I'd want at least 120K and more comfortable, closer to 200. And actually, he's coming around for a single family home, more like 250. All right, that's a great guess. Thanks, Michael. A surf bum, Fannie Mae just came out with rates prediction 5.9 for 2026. This means home sales will continue to slowly trend down. Does it? Is that what that means? You may be right, surf bum. You may be right. I'll tell you one thing. I know that I can't predict the future. That's one I know. I know I cannot do. That's one thing I know I cannot do, because if I would, I'd be having a giant beachfront estate like Ashley does. That's what I would do if I could predict the future.
Hey,
Rich P,
one more comment,
Yep.
Peter, on the Maui market. You know, which I think
Sure.
is important perspective for folks, is this whole theory behind, if we outlaw vacation rentals, it's going to create a bunch of affordable housing for local residents. I think this whole exercise is showing us that theory isn't really bearing out, right? I mean, like, you have all of these vacation rentals that are sitting empty, that are on the market, that are 35% cheaper than they were a year ago, and they're not being bought or they're not being occupied. I think it's somewhat of an indicator to the overall policy discussion of, you know, whether or not that's going to be a solution to our affordable housing issues on all the islands, not just Maui. So
Yeah, I mean, even these one-bedroom condos, even with prices 35%, 40% down, I mean, you're still looking at maybe 4,500 a month for, you know, if you're thinking of mortgage, maintenance fees, taxes, and then you only have one bedroom, one parking space kind of thing. So it's not quite the affordable housing I think that we really need for local families. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
the misconception is that people who live in who want to live in a house would live in a condo, but it's like, people don't. They got families, they got multiple cars, or a lot of times it just doesn't work. It's not apples to apples. So
The buyers I see coming in really buying these condos are investors who are coming in, seeing the prices are down, and, they say you can't turn back time, but we've turned back time 4 or 5 years in terms of pricing on some of these condos. So, there are investors who are coming in and buying these. It's like, fortunately, it's not the local families buying these vacation rental condos.
This is really a great study in one of my favorite topics in economics called unintended consequences. Unintended consequences. You start with something and you sounds good, but in reality, it doesn't work. So look what's going to happen if they happen to outlaw those vacation rentals, so to speak. They're going to get bought up by investors anyway, and you still won't have local home ownership, which is what they want in the first place. So interesting. Interesting. We'll see how that goes. All right. Oh, I want to give a quick shout out to Rich P from Minnesota. Welcome back, Rich. Good to see you, buddy. Rich, one of the topics that we're talking about is what do you think it takes for a household in Hawaii to live in? What does it cost for a household to live in Hawaii? Set aside some money for savings, some discretionary income, and pay and discretionary spending and taxes. We got a couple of guesses here. Michael's got us in for 250. Stefan's got us for 250. What's your number, Rich? I'd be curious. All right. Ashley, give us the great big amazing Oahu market update. Tell us what's going on. What's happening with the market on Oahu? You're muted, I think, Ashley.
I double muted. I muted my mic.
There we go.
Sorry. For Oahu, we actually saw a massive increase in our sales. And for just September alone, 1st to the 15th, because I don't want to do the whole month. I'm trying to break it up at least, half a month to our full month updates. From September 1st to 15th, we've already had 551 single family and condos sold. Comparing that to last year, the same time period, there was 250 sold. Compare that to our peak 2021 market, there was 483 sold. Again, this first half of the month was 551 already, compared to peak COVID market, 483. We had an amazing September. So far, after January, February, we were slow. We were around 550 sales or less per month. Since March to the rest of the year, there's been somewhere in the 600 to mid-high 600 sales per month. When I did go from the 1st to today, there's already 815 sales. Rock star of a September. This follows a great August. So we are seeing a fantastic trend here ending the summer market. For the number of new listings, so this is a very limited time period of just a couple weeks when something comes on market, we're seeing a decline on new listings that came on market. For the number of homes that are for sale right now, which is just doesn't matter how many days they've been available, it's just the amount of inventory that's out there, we're seeing a decline for the last couple months over the last several years. So there's been an incline of homes available for sale since 2021, just climbing up. And now we're finally just starting to see a pretty steady decline on homes for sale in June. Declining, which means more things are selling. Pending sales are up for the last since July for Oahu. Closed sales are also up since June. Again, our days on market still have gone up though. So things are still taking longer to sell. We are still seeing a steady incline on those days on market. And our list price to sale price ratio, we still see that fluctuating where there's an average of 98 to 99% of the list price to sell price ratio, when previously it had been paring around 100% for the last several years.
So, Ashley, what do you have any sense of kind of this seems to kind of a significant change, right? September, just like kind of like things like blew up. Was there anything there was a little bit of a drop in the interest rates. I can't believe that alone would account for such a pop. Do you have any sense? Did something happen? Or? Any
Well,
idea?
last show we kind of went over when it was just me and you. I went over that end of August update, and it said that the number of contracts drafted had gone up significantly. So we sort of saw the writing on the wall that we were going to have a pretty strong September. It could be for a number of reasons. I think that the interest rates, going down definitely helped push some people that have been on the fence for a while maybe come over. We also had the end of the PCS season for us here on Oahu. So whenever you have military relocation rounds happening, we always see an increase. But I even did the numbers to compare in 2019 pre-COVID, and we still just blew that out of the water. 362 pre-COVID sales, and we're at 851 right now. So as far as why it's so
Crazy
good
number.
at the
That's
moment,
huge. Yeah.
I don't really know. We haven't had any major economic news. We haven't had
Is it
anything.
Is it PCS season? But that still wouldn't explain. It happens every year, anyways, right? So it's like,
Dylan, you weren't listening to me a minute ago. I just said that.
oh, I was listening. I was listening.
I think that's why we had a good increase. But
Okay.
yeah, it still doesn't compare to the last several years. I mean, peak COVID market was 483 sales compared to 851 right now. Sorry, 551 right now. So yeah, PCS season is why we usually have a strong August and September, which happens every year. But this is an extraordinary September. I don't have a reason for it. It's nothing, no real economic news to justify it, to be honest. I do just think
wild.
that Oahu is a really stable market overall. So I think that when the rates went down, maybe that gave the little pick me up that people needed. And we're not even calculating for multifamily or vacant land. I'm not even talking about those.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows, right? I mean, it's hard to say, but it's definitely a great thing. And send some of that sales volume onto send some of that sales volume vibe over to the Big Island and to Maui, because it sounds like they could certainly would love to have a nice blockbuster month. So we're gonna send some, fill out that form to
I
Pele
was just gonna say it's probably with the Pele form. I will. I'll try to find the other Google form.
Yeah, are you seeing, like, I've had like anecdotal feedback from agents there that like lots of multiple offers and stuff, like, like offers being beat, and like, so it anecdotally it felt like this past month was busy.
Yeah,
right? Or just
we
more
have
activity.
had that very specific properties, right? So if you don't have any red tape around a listing, and if you priced it right and it checks the boxes, you're waiving contingencies, you're seeing multiple offers, you're seeing above asking price offers. But in other areas that are maybe less desirable or not checking a lot of the boxes, they'll still sit. Days on market are still significantly higher. Number of showings can go, it's so wild. In 15 years, I haven't seen anything like this, where you're going from one listing having no showings, and I'm like whoring myself out trying to market this thing. I know, sorry, that was not appropriate. I'm working very hard to market this thing, and then I just put this cute listing that's in a great neighborhood, and I haven't even gotten the chance to market it, and I have it under contract in 40 hours and above asking price. And it's really hit or miss on, I have one I can't even get a showing on it, and it's so cute and it's such a good price. So yeah, it depends. Subsidiary markets for sure carry higher weight than others.
Interesting. Well, that's a great piece. So we'll see how it all goes. Thank you all for that update. Let's move on. I want to give a station plug over here. If you are with us, how did you get here? Did you get here through the newsletter? If you got the newsletter that gave you the links, you're good. If not, get onto livinginhawaii.com. Get on the newsletter. And we'll send you the updates. There is an amazing amount of content that comes out of that site nowadays. There's a show every Friday, not just every other Friday, and you want to be a part of that. Get onto livinginhawaii.com and sign up. Of course, you could unsubscribe. All right. Why don't we do this? Why don't we go back? Let's kind of hit this one really quick I want to kind of nail this now, I guess. Or maybe, yeah. Let's nail this now, since we're all talking about what does it take? How much do you need to live comfortably in Hawaii? Everybody is seems to agree on the 250. Rich has got us in for 250, and so does Michael. and so does Stefan. So it looks like 250 is the consensus. I want to ask the experts here. So let's play a little game. Let's see who comes. Well, there's a range. There's a range. So let's see if we could kind of hit the. That's all right. What do you guys think? So really quick, give me your number, Dylan. Then Ashley, and then Heidi. What's your number?
I would agree with 250. I mean, especially when you because you talked about everything, right? Like I would say like the minimum you gotta make to live comfortably is like 150. But if you want to have savings and investments and all that other stuff that you kind of rattled off, I think you gotta have
taxes.
Make it significantly more. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. You're with the 250. Ashley, what about you?
I want to give a different number because everyone's saying 250.
So give us a different number.
I know people who can survive off of, 60 to 80,000, and they survive is the key word there. Like, it's possible. You have to really budget and be specific and do lots of free things that you can do in Hawaii. Like, beaches are free, hikes are free. And as long as you're okay with that and potlucking on the budget, you could make it happen. If you want to be humble and never travel. If you want to,
but that's not the question. The question is not the smallest number. Correct. The question is, what do you need to live comfortably? A household live comfortably with basic needs, discretionary spending, long-term savings, and taxes.
I don't think 250 is enough for what you're saying if you have children. And depending on where you want to live on the island. So if you live on lower price point areas on the island, you can get away with 250. If not, you want to do 350 to 4.
350 to 4. Okay. 350 to 4. All right. There you go. Thank you, Ashley, for a different number. Heidi, what's your number?
I'm just glad I did not read any of these studies or consider any of this before moving to Hawaii.
That's the truth.
That's why I was throwing out the low number too, because I don't want people to feel like you can't make it here under 100.
Yeah, I mean, when I moved here, I really didn't have anything, and I think the first year I lived here, I made like $30,000, and I was having a great life. I mean, it just so it really just depends. I mean, how much money somebody spends is. It could be. I mean, you could stay at home and eat beans and rice, or you could be going out all the time. But I think what you're trying to ask is like for a family, and obviously housing is going to be a big expense. So I would put that big rock in the bucket first and figure out how much you need for housing, and then kind of design the rest of your budget there. Like, are the kids going to private school? Are they going to public school? I mean, there's kind of a lot of big rocks to consider. So,
yep.
I mean, I think, of course, everybody wants to make 250. Everybody would love to make 500,000. That sounds great.
So what's your number, Heidi?
Yeah, I don't really have a number, but.
Oh, come on. You can't do that. After all that, you can't, come on.
At least I dragged it out and came up with something at the end.
Bid $1. Send the bid $1.
Come on, Heidi. Give us a number. Just give a number. For here, I mean, for a household, here's the quote: a household to live comfortably, basic needs, discretionary spending, long-term savings, and taxes. What's the number?
Yeah, I would say probably more than 250. Like maybe
such as like
3 to 4.
3 to 4. Okay. All right, 3 to 4. Great. Thank you.
I mean, that would be ideal, but like Ashley said, you can live comfortably on. Yes. Depending on what you define as comfortable, like $80,000. That's right. Because people do it.
You could absolutely. People do it. People do it, and you can do it. And if you completely let go of the material things in life, you could enjoy Hawaii, because Hawaii is a very non-material place, in a sense, and you could have a great time. Hey, we all went through our poverty, man. When I first moved here, my favorite and soul meal was either peanut butter sandwiches or brown rice and tuna. That was my best combo, because tuna was a can of tuna at Foodland in 1984 was 69 cents. I remember that distinctly, because I used to buy that because I could afford it. Okay, so Stefan, clarify. We have 4 kids, barely get by in Salt Lake City with about 150. At least 250 is at least I start considering moving to Hawaii. 400 to thrive. Okay, thanks, Stefan, for that expansion. That's kind of along the lines of what both Ashley and Heidi said. So the number that was in the report, and there was like three of them, was between 225,000 and 280,000 a year, 225 to 280. So that was the number that they quoted. But you all, you heard the girls here. The girls want over 300. Girls are like, I'm not getting married unless you're making 300, dude. I'm not marrying you. Wait. Sorry, you're both married already. All right, got it. Yeah, but that's.
I mean, Dylan's over here on Big Island being like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. We get away with 120 just fine. On 2 acres, all self-sustaining. I mean,
that's what I always tell people. On the Big Island, you can have a nurse and a firefighter, normal household, and you can buy a brand new house and live very comfortably. So that's why the Big Island is special.
But over here we have the Shell, and you can go to concerts like every week. So it's worth an extra $250,000.
It's the slightly urban experience, right? It's the slight urban experience that we have. Yes, for the Shell. The Shell's going to cost you. But yeah, there. What's so crazy about all this is like 250, and you think, at first that sounds like a pretty big number, but these days 100,000 is making 100,000 is almost like, not to say it's the norm, which is like so luxury belief based.
100,000 today is worth 54,000 in the year 2000. Right. So if you think about inflation and stuff, it's really not that much money. I mean,
it's really not the way it's not as much as it used to be. So you
or
look
if
at
you can get a job as a Honolulu police officer, right, and make 400, right? You see that news story?
Yeah. Oh God.
I saw one, the chief, but I didn't see anybody could.
There was a guy that made 400 on overtime.
Yeah.
Overtime.
Yeah. It's like, if you do the math, it's almost like physically impossible to do that much overtime. But yeah, they made like 400K, Wow. And he was a regular cop, like patrolman. It wasn't like a.
Wow.
So look, so the point is, making over 100 is not like the big deal it used to be a long time ago, right? So if you have both income of two income earners, 100 each, you're already at 200. 125 each, not too much of a reach. You're at that 250. So it sounds on one hand it sounds crazy, but on the other hand, it's not that bad. All right, we got a bunch of other questions, but I'm not sure how much time that we're gonna have. So why don't we do this? Let's jump into okay, all right. Let's hit one question. Let's hit one. So one that I wanted to cover over here is bugs. Hawaii's bugs. So Hawaii's got all kinds of bugs. And we have bugs, we have lizards, geckos, we have gigantic flying cockroaches, we have centipedes, and some people from the mainland are coming in. They come in, they're like in a state of shock because of the crazy bugs and stuff in Hawaii. So I'm curious about what from a real estate perspective. Besides obviously you have to get a termite report and things of that nature. How would you, for someone who's looking to buy a home in Hawaii, what should they think about in terms of bugs, or how are they going to deal with the bugs? And what's your general advice to like someone from the mainland who's going to be shocked by the bugs in Hawaii? How would you recommend that they deal with it? Dylan, why don't we start with you, the local boy born and raised here? What do you tell people about dealing with bugs?
My answer is simple: get over it. It's like, if you don't like bugs, you're not gonna like it. There's zero way around it. Like, it's not if or when you get cockroaches in your house or ants or whatever, and there's some stuff you can do to treat it and mitigate it. But at the end of the day, it's the tropics, and there's always gonna be bugs.
Okay, your answer is to deal with it. All right, great. Ashley, what's your response, Ashley?
Same. Yeah. I'm the
oh, come on, you
catcher.
guys are so boring. Deal with it. Come on.
So you can do pest treatment outside the house. Like, you can do annual where they like go and redo your bait traps and stuff like that. I wouldn't spend money on that. That seems not.
And it's also a question of like, how much poison would you rather have bugs or poison all around your house?
Yeah. Like, I'm a health nut, so I just, it scares me. Sure, when I'm getting up in the middle of the night and I go to get a glass of water and I see one, like, do I like being on a hunt because I can't sleep thinking of it going on in my face in the middle of the night? Sure, of course not. Screaming kids when they get into the shower or guests because something like fell on them. And I have a sealed house. But I am the cockroach catcher of our home. My other half too, he's like 6'2" and he won't touch them. And he's born and raised here. And I'm like, just don't slap them though. They can carry baby eggs. And if you slap them, then they spread. Don't hit it with your slipper and they smell if they pop. The good thing is we have the big ones here and they're the big 52 bombers. So they're super easy to find. You don't have all those like tiny little baby ones that are really like hard. That's my glass half full. And termites, termite your house every, decade or half a decade.
Yeah, you got to do the termite thing, and you have to tent a house every so often. Heidi, Heidi? Please give us a little bit more wisdom, just a scooch more wisdom on how to deal with the bugs in Hawaii.
Well, I disagree. I do not think you should have bugs crawling around your house. I've never lived anywhere here on Maui where I have had bugs crawling around my house. If you are clean, if you do not leave food on the counter, if you get regular pest control, you probably can't never see a bug in Hawaii, but there are definitely no live bugs in anywhere I've lived, and that's why. Now, if you start leaving a butter dish and leftover food on the counter, yes, you will get them. And probably the worst experience ever was once I went out to dinner and left a leftover pizza in the back of my car and came back and it was like covered with cockroaches, and that was so disgusting. I ended up getting rid of that car soon after. But my main interaction with bugs is as a realtor going to showings, and I have little tongs and I go around and pick up dead centipedes or dead roaches before the showing. Some older houses that aren't as, like, the windows aren't as tight, or maybe they have old jealousy windows, like those type of properties, and also ground floor condos, like they tend to get more bugs crawling in. But I think if you are dedicated to being clean and doing pest control, you should not have any type of bugs crawling around where you live.
That's the key. Thank you, Heidi. Actually, that's the point I was gonna bring up. Thank you for that voice of wisdom here. But we take it for granted. Okay, the truth is, like I'm sure Dylan in your family and Ashley in yours, we take it for granted. But Heidi, it's good for you to point it out. You really have to be clean in Hawaii. You really have to be clean. You cannot leave dirty dishes in the sink. You cannot leave food lying around. You got to say, yeah. See, Dylan, you were born here, so it's built in. You can't think it any other way. Yeah.
And then the other piece of advice, if you really don't like bugs, live in a high-rise condo, because there's definitely less. In a higher level, like Heidi mentioned, ground floor, but definitely if you're, all the high-rise condos I've been in, it's like very rarely do you have ant and cockroach problems, because you can actually control them within your space.
You can control it, right? They're control. Well, your life. Go ahead.
I have we put we clean up everything every night. We do like a whole family dishes, put it all away. We don't have any food out ever. I can't, because my dogs, this is their house. We just live here, and they would just eat it because they can jump little hopping beams up to a countertop. So we can't have food out even if we wanted to. Yeah. And we have cleaners that come through regularly. So we have the house even professionally cleaned regularly because of the amount of dogs and everything we have. But we're ground level. We have a canal behind us, and it's just very easy. We have dog doors. I keep my house open all the time, so I always have airflow. I don't do AC. So it's just almost unavoidable. They can even come out of the bathroom drains. If they climb out from your sewer system, they come out of drains too. So as much as keeping everything clean, it has not saved me, at least. But maybe I need to go to the condo life.
Well, look, I mean, that's the thing, though, right? I mean, you live on, you basically got a beach house, and a beach house is got all, on one hand we think it's a beautiful, super cool thing, but on the other hand, you are totally exposed to the elements. You're exposed to, you're constantly in a battle against nature, that which is encroaching on the property. So it's a very different thing versus the condo, right?
Can I
Go
tell
ahead.
you guys a horror story? Do you guys have a cockroach? Does anyone have a cockroach horror story in their real estate experience?
Well, here, yeah, hold on. So life on the Big Island does moved into a rental, and the first night I flipped the lights on to find thousands of German cockroaches. German? I didn't know if that was a thing. German cockroaches running all over the floor. They even lived inside the refrigerator. So that's a pretty good horror story. I've got one too. I got a really good one. But go ahead, you go first, Ashley.
No, you.
Okay, so my thing was, when I first moved here, I was just like your typical, like, dirty howly guy, a bachelor living by himself, and didn't care about anything. And so my studio, I didn't, I wasn't clean at all. I had dirty dishes, and slowly but surely I had more and more and more and more and more cockroaches. So when I would come home at night, I would turn on the light, and they would all, like, like, go away, right? So one day I kind of finally had it enough. Finally had, Teresa with the B-52s. Yeah, exactly right. So one day I finally had enough, and so I took those aerosol things where you press the button, and it's like an aerosol can. It shoots it up, and I lined up like 3 or 4 of them in a little tiny studio. I lined 3 or 4 of them up, and I took off. I was gone the whole day. I came back, and I had literally a trash bag full of roaches. Literally trash bag. A whole trash bag was full of roaches. It was, and that was like my big lesson. Ever since, from that moment on, I became Mr. Clean. So that's my cockroach horror story. Sloppy, dirty bachelor learns how to be clean, because the zillions of roaches. All right, Ashley, what's yours?
Same thing. It was just a listing. I just moved to the islands. I had it in, this realtor was like, "Hey, do you want a referral?" And it was like $100,000 short sale referral. I definitely think I lost money on selling it. And there was kids living in there, cockroaches climbing in everything, every single corner of that place. And when they moved out, like, there was thousands, like the lady said. And so we bombed the same thing. And when I went in there, I opened it up and I was like, "Oh, wow." They cleaned up all the roaches, and I closed the door behind me. It slammed behind me, and I turned around, and the entire wall behind me was covered with them. And on the door and up the entire wall, it was a black moving, crazy experience. And then they all scattered out underneath the door, and they went down the hallway into everyone's units, down the hallway in both directions. I felt like it was a horror movie. It was crazy.
Oof. That's a rough one, man. That's a darn good horse. That's a darn good horror story. Whew. Okay, so we have a question from BuzzTune. Thanks, BuzzTune. BuzzTune's gonna shift the vibe here. Thank you, BuzzTune, for shifting the vibe. And so, hey, look, if you've joined us, give us a quick shout out and say hello. Like Trina Mai, who's from Clovis, California, first time made it live, but late, and better late than never. I hope, Trina, you got the horror story that Ashley was showing us. Actually, I thought mine was pretty bad, but yours, that outdid it. That outdid it big time. Let's do this. Hey, what are average cash on cash returns on the Big Island, Curtistown, Pahoa, with 15% of rent set aside for maintenance and vacancy? Thanks. Wow, easy question there, Dylan. Why don't you think about that one while we do? You got that, Dylan? It's Dylan. You could also see the question in the chat thing. So take a look at that. BuzzTune, we're going to come back to, because that's an interesting question, and we are going to hit it, but we are now running out of time. So we're going to hit our diamonds and deals. These are properties that our friends have picked out for us. So let's see what we got here. Wow. What's this? What are we looking at here, Heidi, in Maui?
So this is a house in Kula. It's on 3/4 of an acre. As you can see, huge deck, amazing views. You can see the view on the right side of the ocean and sunset. Great place if you want space for gardening, farming, private and peaceful, move-in ready. It's been remodeled, very cute interior, and listed just under 1.5 million up in Kula, upcountry.
Those are some just Incredible photos. What a great, it's so cool. Like Hawaii has just like got such next level properties that you can guy. And this is one of them. This is really amazing, Heidi. Just crazy. Love it. Thank you, Heidi. Great shot. Let's see. Is this yours, Dylan? Or is this, what?
This is
am I looking
me. So this is a property that's been on the market for a while, but this is in Waipio Valley, you guys. And so if you're familiar with Waipio Valley, it's one of the
Ooh,
most special sacred places on the Big Island. And this is very rarely do properties come up for sale, but as you can see, like this, there's basically a stream running right through this thing, and it's just a little cabin next to the stream. There's a like a Quonset hut on it too for additional kind of space for storage and living. But just a total diamond. These don't come up very often. It's probably hard to say what it's worth because it's somewhat priceless. I mean, having a piece of property down in the valley, but very hard to access. You got to go down a very steep road. I mean, it's not for everybody, not living for everybody, but very, very unique diamond property here on the Big Island. And if you haven't visited Waipio Valley, it's definitely something that you want to see here on the Big Island.
man, that is really, I mean, yeah, you've never listed a property in Waipio Valley, and I didn't, that I kind of, you don't even know that that's a thing, right? Because it just never come, right?
Yeah.
It's just not. This is really,
I mean, there might be one
right.
sale every 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It's very, very rare for these to come up for sale.
This is really, 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 really something, man. Yes, really something. And we did go to Waipio Valley once, and that was it was borderline a religious experience going there. It was really something else. That place is unbelievably special.
The wild horses running everywhere, and just the black sand beach. It's incredible.
It's really, really something. Really, really something. So, and Teresa thinks so because that's double hearts on that one. So I'm assuming. So Teresa, is that the double hearts on Waipio? Is that the double hearts on Maui, on the Maui property? Both work.
Teresa
both work.
Goes back and forth between the Maui and the Big Island, so she's in both places.
Oh, there you go.
So
there you go, Teresa. All. She's double hearts, man. Double hearts for everything. Awesome. Thank you. All right, great. Okay, this is in Waipahu. What are we looking at here?
This is I went live with the listing 2 days ago. It's a little 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's just on around 1,000 square feet of living space. It's got a covered patio, super cute, renovated on a cul-de-sac with a walking path. There's a massive park that's close by with an Olympic-sized pool, archery range, every tennis court, pickleball court, jogging path. It's a really cool location, centrally located, $869,000. The seller is a veteran, and he was willing a non-veteran to assume his 2.25% interest rate. Normally, when you see VA assumables, they want another veteran to assume the loan at that interest rate because they get their entitlement back. So this one's willing a non-veteran to assume it. Super steal of a deal, honestly, for the area. 2-car garage. It's a single family.
What? Wait. Hold on. Hold
the phone
here.
Single family.
Heidi, I'm sorry. Your question, Heidi?
Oh, is this a condo or a single family? And I think she said it's a single family home.
Single family. Okay, good. And Ashley, you said that there's an assumable loan here. Is that what you said? Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah, so 2.25. So anybody can come in and bridge the gap between what they have on their mortgage balance. So they have 600,000 left on the mortgage. And then if they bring in the difference or they get a HELOC for the difference or second mortgage, they get $600,000 mortgage at their 2.25% interest. And they're willing to let anybody take that, not just another veteran. And that's uncommon.
Moly. That's crazy. That's a deal. That is a deal.
And this neighborhood, this street, they do little like potlucks, every once in a while at the end of the cul-de-sac. And it's a really like, the association is like $200 for the entire year. And it's just like to maintain the color of the houses around the area, stay consistent and stuff. And it's got a garage. They just did an aluminum shingle roof in 2022. And they, those ovens and appliances, it's the cafe edition, Samsung's cafe edition. So it's like that double Dutch high end. Yeah, it's got a dishwasher, brand new washer and dryer, water heater. Everything was replaced in 2023. And that shower, if you look in that shower, it's got a built-in bidet, like a not like one of the cheap ones, one of the OGs, and that whole room is tiled. So it's the entire room, floor to ceiling shower room, and it looks
Holy
out at the
moly.
atrium outside. So you got like a garden outside of the window. Just needs more plants and love.
Man, I could see myself hanging in that shower for at least an hour, right? It's no longer the 10-minute shower. It's the hour-long spa in that. Wow, that's crazy. That is a really special house and quite an incredible deal there. Thank you for sharing that, Ashley. That thing should sell really, really quickly, I would think. Jesse Naomi Grace on the Homes of the Elite, right? Yes, Homes of the Elite. And you're referring to Waipio Valley, of course. That place is just that is just such a next level. That is just a next level region, man. It's just like there's nothing like it. So anyway, all right, folks. Hey, this has been a really fun show. I'm glad we had a lot of things to share. Let's bring it home. We got some closing thoughts that we're going to close with, and if you've got some closing wisdom you want to share, please make sure you bring it on. We'd love to hear it. Heidi, let's start with yours. What's yours, and how is it meaningful to you today?
Action is the antidote to anxiety. So just a reminder, what you can sit around and worry about things, but sometimes if you just take a step in the direction you want to go and just keep going, that's the best medicine. That's the best cure to feeling anxious.
Make a move, right, Heidi? Make a move, man. Make a move. Make a move. Don't just sit there and wring your hands over it. Thank you, Heidi. That's great. Great wisdom. Ashley, what's yours today?
The mind is its own place, and in it a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. Kind of in alignment with what Heidi was saying, that life is what you make of it. It's all about perspective. How you think shapes your world.
It really is, man. It's I mean, that is the one thing. The one thing you have absolute control over is your experience. Whatever you decide, the lens that you decide to see the experience, that is your choice. You can't control things, but you can control the way you think about them. That's the one thing that you always have. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Hey, before we go to yours, Dylan, I wanted to give a thing to Trina, who said, "Yeah, Ashley, great deal indeed, man. Too bad I just recently purchased a condo on Maui. Damn, Trina, too bad.
Not too bad. That's a good choice."
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Excellent. Cool. All right. Thanks for that, Trina. I appreciate that. All good. Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, she corrected the Ashley. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that. All right, Dylan, what's yours?
Funny, we kind of got a theme here, but innovation is rewarded in execution, but execution is worshipped. And just a reminder that you can have all the ideas and creativity and innovation in the world, but if you don't execute on those ideas, it really doesn't get you anywhere. And we see that today in the world all the time, where people say, well, I had that idea, but then somebody else actually executed on it. And almost every big idea, so you hear people claiming that they had the idea first, right? Facebook, Google, all that stuff. So just remember, got to take action. You got to execute.
Ideas are wonderful. They're the genesis, but they're worthless. An idea is worthless. An idea is absolutely worthless until it's made into something. And as anybody who's had an idea and then turned it into something real knows, it is not trivial to do that. It is not trivial to take an idea and create a product, or an idea and make a company, or a idea, do anything, frankly. If it's an idea for a piece of art, by the time you're done with that piece of art, it's a whole other story. So getting it done is the key. Interesting synonymous there. Interesting synchronicity there with yours and Heidi's specifically. Cool. All right. I'm gonna close up with of course my favorites is always Proverbs 15:31. The ear that hears the rebukes of life will abide among the wise. So what they mean by that is a rebuke is someone giving you advice, or a rebuke is someone giving you some sort of knowledge from someone else. So the ear that hears that advice, the ear that hears people giving you wisdom, that ear will live among the wise. Pay attention to what people tell you. It does matter. You don't have to listen to it, but you need to at least hear it. Elise Heron. All right. I think that is it. That is our show for today. We are going to close this one up. Let's see. The next one's going to be on October 10th. Dylan, you mentioned that you and Ashley may or may not be out. We don't know yet.
We'll be here for that one. The 10th works.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Then we will see you guys there. It's been a lot of fun. You guys have been awesome. Thanks everybody for participating. Oh, Dylan, do you have anything on this this question for BuzzTune? What are the average cash on cash returns for
That's not a question you can answer generally. That area is super diverse, different price points. How much are you putting down? I mean, there's all kinds of questions. Very, very, I think, specific. So reach out. We can help you.
BuzzTune, reach out. There's a link in the description. Click on that link. Get a hold of Dylan, and I'm sure they'd love to talk to you about it. But there's no easy answer. There's no easy answer. It's a wide range because of that area. That area is diverse.
That area specifically, yeah, it's very diverse.
You want to talk about some diversity, man? There is some diversity in that area. That is some big time diversity. All right. Okay, why don't we all let's go around. Let's go around clockwise. Dylan, then Ashley, then Heidi. Say goodbye.
Have an awesome weekend, everybody.
Aloha, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Heidi. Have a great one, everybody. It was great seeing you all. See you all in 2 weeks. Aloha.